When we're solving quadratic equations that have the parentheses squared, so it's what would be vertex form, the same way that we solved with square roots yesterday, we're going to use square roots again here, or in those previous examples. So when you have those parentheses squared, just make sure that they're by themselves, right? They're isolated on the left side of the equation, or either side, honestly. But before you start taking square roots, make sure that your parentheses squared doesn't have anything being added or multiplied to it, and then we can take square roots. So this one is actually ready for us. We're going to take the square root of x plus 3 squared. We're going to take the square root of 7. We use those square roots, remember, because squares and square roots are inverses. They undo each other. So we're left with x plus 3, and that's equal to, even though it's not a perfect square, don't forget those plus minus. Remember, when we're solving equations using square roots, the positive and negative value of the number you have will give you the perfect square, and so either one of those numbers is fine. Don't forget that square root. Now, there's two things we're going to do here. We're going to start by subtracting 3 on both sides because we need to isolate the variable, and that's the next step to get x by itself. So x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 7. Now I put that negative 3 in front of the square root of 7 because if I put it on the other side of the square root of 7, it looks kind of out of place, kind of like it's just hanging off out there. Maybe it could not connected to it at all. Maybe they're not having anything to do with each other. It also sometimes can get accidentally tucked underneath that radical, and we don't want that. We're not taking the square root of 7 minus 3. It's just, so we place it in front of the radical. We do rational number and then irrational number. So let's get rid of that. And that's it. That's our exact answer. We're going to just plop that down here, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 7. Those are our two solutions. Remember, the plus minus is what gives us the two solutions. So we're going to take that negative 3 plus the square root of 7 and negative 3 minus the square root of 7 to get our approximations. Just enter that information into Desmos and round to the nearest hundredth unless you're asked otherwise. So negative 3 plus the square root of 7 gives me negative 0.35, and negative 3 minus the square root of 7 is negative 5.65. And this number, 35, is next to a 4, so it stays 35. And this number, that 64, is next to a 5. I rounded it up to 65. So my approximate answers then, and I'll put them in number line A ascending order, negative 5.65 and negative 0.35. So again, for these types of problems, you're doing the same thing that you did when you take square roots, when there's not those parentheses, when there's just two terms. But you're going to just make sure that the parentheses squared is isolated. So number 6 is ready to go. For number 7, don't forget to add 3 to both sides before you do anything. Number 8, you'll subtract 1 on both sides. For number 9, add your 1 and then divide by 6. Just like we would in any other equation to isolate something, we're going to get those parentheses by themselves. Undo adding, subtracting, then undo your multiplication and division. For number 10, you'll add 2 and divide by 3. Okay?